Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel where we talk about how to build credit, how to establish relationships with banks and financial institutions, and how to get you access to high limit credit funding. So for today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through the pre-qualification process with American Express from the perspective of existing members. So one of the cool things with American Express is once you're already a primary member, you can apply for additional accounts without additional hard inquiry. So you're only getting a hard pull on your first account. All other accounts after that are just soft pulls. And again, this is from my personal experience, having over 10 accounts with American Express. And so just to sort of give you an idea, the whole reason for this video is to show you the differences between a solid pre-approval versus a not so solid, pre-qualification, right? So you could tell within the verbiage if it's an actual pre-approval because it'll say, congrats, Jimmy, John, whatever, you're pre-approved. But if it says when you do the pre-qualification, you'll navigate to the pre-qualification page, and I'll walk through that in the video. And so usually there'll be three choices that pop up, and when you hit the apply now button for any of those, it'll pull up the pre-qualification credit agreement. And the way to be able to know if it's a solid pre-approval is if it says you're pre-approved, and if when you look at the terms of the credit agreement, it has a fixed APR. That means that they've already decided what your APR would be if you would choose to move forward with the application. And then I'm also going to show you when you could tell that it's not a solid pre-qualification or pre-approval, because one, it's going to say something along the lines of, we welcome you to expand your membership. And then you'll also see in the terms of the credit agreement, it'll have a range of APR. So it might be like 15 to 24%. When it shows the range, that means they haven't decided on what your APR would be, meaning that it's not pre-approved. So those are just little subtle nuances that you can tell, if you have a better chance or not. And then also when you don't go through the pre-qualification link, that means you're just applying directly to that card. So not to say you can't get approved that way, but it's probably less likely because they didn't already select that particular credit product for you. So I'm going to switch back over to my screen and walk you guys through the process.
I'm going to walk you through how to know if you really pre-qualify. So to pre-qualify, you go to Menu, Cards, check for pre-qualified credit card offers. Alright, so you'll usually get the three suggestions, and to know if you're pre-qualified, all you have to do is click on the Apply Now button, and it'll say, congratulations, you're pre-approved. Says that, then that's a pretty solid approval. If it doesn't, if it says expand your membership or we welcome you, okay, right here, you're pre-approved, okay. And another thing is this fixed APR. So usually when it's a range, that means it's not a pre-approval. So that was an example. And generally when you see the three at the top, those are what you were pre-approved for. And so the gold card, and then let's see the platinum card. Again, you could tell by the wording when it says, you're pre-approved, that's a solid pre-approval. Okay, same thing here with the platinum card, a fixed APR. Now let me show you an example where it's not a pre-approval. So if you try to apply for a card that doesn't show up in your pre-approvals, so it's usually the top three. But let's see, for example, I have most of these cards, so let's just click on the Delta Reserve card. And so if I go to apply now, I didn't pre-qualify, just, outright applied for it. And the verbiage will be different. So here it says, applying to expand your membership with us is easy. So this is not a solid pre-approval. Here you see that there's a variable APR, so it's a range. That means they need to do a soft pull to determine what your APR would be. So in this case, when you try to apply without going to the check for pre-qualified offers, it's different, as we just showed you. So this would not be a solid pre-approval. And again, you go to cards, check for pre-qualified credit offers, and the top three is generally pretty solid. So here they're giving me the option of the gold card, platinum, and the blue. And
Hey guys, so like you saw, I walked through the pre-qualification process and just gave you a little bit of detail as to how to know whether or not it's an actual solid pre-approval. When it says that verbiage and the fixed APR, those are definitely some signs to know that you have a pretty solid chance of approval. And just from experience, I've gone 100% approved when seeing those different signals, the verbiage as well as the fixed APR. And in the cases where I wasn't approved, it was when I didn't go through the pre-qualification portal. So definitely, and you could definitely do some other research too. There's a lot of other data points that suggest that as well. I actually looked into that before I was even an Amex member. So, I took that information and actually applied it, to my situation. And from my data points, that did hold true. So, if you're going through the pre-qualification and you see the, congrats, you're pre-approved, or, you see that fixed APR, then that may be a good time to pull the trigger, especially if you're an existing member, because there's no additional hard pull, so there's no adverse impact to your credit score. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys with this video. And if you're interested in how to build primary accounts, you can email me directly, info@creditplug. Until next time, y'all take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.